This is a quick overview of the free GO1 Microsoft Teams app, which helps educators deliver learning to students within Teams. Here I'm on the Learning tab, which is something the GO1 app adds to class teams and channels. As an educator, I can add learning content, whether that's files, web links, SCORM content from the Blended Learning Consortium, or optionally additional content from GO1. If I go ahead and explore learning content, let's say for a topic like job applications, I can see the specific learning resources on that topic. Here, there are a number of examples from the Blended Learning Consortium on job applications. As an educator, I can then explore that content before sharing it with my students. And if I like the learning content, I can go ahead and add that content to the Learning tab, where it will then be accessible to my students to both view and discuss that learning content. Once I've added that resource, if I go back to the Learning tab, I'll see that this particular learning resource has been added. I can, as an educator, still view that learning resource just like any student would be able to. And because I've already started this resource, I'll be given the option to resume the content exactly where I left off. And this would be the same for any student. Next, we'll cover what this Learning tab and learning experience looks like from a student perspective. Now, I'm logged in as a student, Sandy. And as a student, I'll still be able to explore learning content, just like we showed for the educator, though I won't have the option to add learning content directly to this left-hand side as a student. That's only for the educator. Just like an educator, I'll be able to open SCORM content from the Blended Learning Consortium, but I can also open other types of content my educator has added, like, for example, an Office 365 file, like a PDF, which opens directly in Teams. I can also open a web link that my educator has shared and view that from within Teams. The other thing I can do from the Learning tab is join a discussion. And for this, GO1 creates a learning conversation thread that corresponds with each learning resource. And when I comment on this particular learning resource, it will be visible to the entire set of students. So that if I go back to the main conversation thread, I'll see that that particular comment has been added. Here, from the main conversation thread, I'm also able to directly search and add learning content. So let's say something on a CV because I'm in a job readiness course. And then any student or the educator themselves can play that learning content here directly from the Conversation tab. Once I share a learning resource directly in the Conversation tab, I can also reply to it. Now we'll move on to the last element of this experience, which is an educator looking at what their students have completed. Here, our student Sandy is in a Blended Learning Consortium SCORM course on gathering information on a potential employer and has passed the quiz. Now she finishes the course and can go back to the Learning tab. In the GO1 system, an educator is able to see that Sandy was in progress on this learning course, and if we refresh the page, our system will recognize that Sandy has now completed the course, and an educator can also run reports. Finally, we'll cover how easy it is to set up this GO1 Teams app. A quick note before we cover how to set up the GO1 Microsoft Teams app. When you set up the app for the first time, you will need an Office 365 admin from your organization to accept permissions around giving secure access to the GO1 app. This only needs to be done once for your entire organization. Setting up the GO1 app is really easy. You'll see I can search for the GO1 app in the Microsoft Teams App Store, and then I can add the GO1 app. Once I've done that, I'll chat with the GO1 bot that's part of the app, and I can type help for a list of commands. With that list of commands, I'll see that the first thing to do is to simply connect. So I'll go ahead and do that. And first, I'll connect a GO1 account. If you don't have one already, it's easy to set up and completely free. I can log in to my GO1 account and authorize the GO1 app to access my instance of Teams. Once I've done that, I'll need to give the app some simple permissions with my Microsoft account. And once that's done, the app will be fully set up, and there's no need for any additional work beyond this one-time setup.